We're going to start, so get things underway. Allow everyone to take their seats. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Mustangs, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. It's great to see you guys. First of all, young men, listen. We have had a great morning this morning. So we're going to continue to conduct ourselves as young men, as you have throughout this morning. Now, if we need to integrate some of the seasoned upperclassmen to come on over to kind of blend in some levels of maturity, we can do so. But first of all, let me say this. Let me thank you guys. First of all, allow me to thank the gentleman that thought it not robbery, so to speak, to show up this morning, to show up in that busy schedule to pour into you guys. So if we can allow us to give them a round of applause for showing up and showing out. On behalf of the Dobbins alumni, the staff, the teachers, our students, we say thank you. Thank you, guys. Also, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank the students. Because typically, if you guys are brought into the auditorium, it's not at this level of calm. Now, in the midst of everything, we sometimes have some disruptions. Now, BJ, now I'll start calling names. So I'm going to ask you to be respectful, because that's what's required of you. As I show you respect in these hallways, you will show us respect. And if you have nothing to say, just listen. So I thank you. And that's how the day will continue. With that being said, I thank you guys for showing up. I thank you guys for conducting yourselves appropriately. And I need you to know, as I've said in some of your rooms, this has been going on for the last 32 years. I don't want you to think this is something that's been thrown together. The last one was done in 2020, and we purposely called for 300 men, and we received 326. However, this year, the first one since COVID, I decided not to do that for a reason. And the gentleman that's here today, typically, our young men would show up in shirts and ties. We purposely did not do the knock-knock, which is typically the day before. Our students have gone through a traumatic experience through COVID. So there's some rearrangement that has to take place. So I didn't think it was necessary to ask these young men that have their own challenges to come in shirt and tie. However, we was groomed to say that that's a respectful presentation. But I believe we should meet our young men where they are. And where they are is here right now in this space, in this moment. And this is why we ask you guys to come and pour into it. So I hope you guys received something in your breakout sessions. I hope you took advantage of the gentleman that you was in front of to say, hey, do you have a business card? Do you have an email? How can I stay in contact with you? This is part of being a young adult, a young man. This is part of growing into young adulthood. Understanding how to advocate for yourselves and communicate properly. So this is what I hope that you should take advantage of. So we'll start this program. And we're going to continue to move forward as we move forward throughout this morning. So my name is Mr. Charles Reyes, formerly your school community coordinator for the Mayor's Office of Education, now the Office of Children and Families. So I'd like to also Dobbins alumni class of 1993. So I'd like to bring forward and keep this program going for the Pledge of Allegiance, Andre Washington. So Andre is the president. So what we will do, we will ask for everyone to stand. Let's do it quickly and smoothly. So this is how we'll do this. Before we move forward to pledge allegiance, I'm going to ask specifically Coach Trey, James Coleman, Chaz Allen, Yasul. I'm going to ask if you guys could reposition yourselves in the midst of these young brothers over here for a sense of stabilization. This is how men interact with young men. See, because there's a difference when a man is present in your immediate atmosphere. You know, you call it personal space. See, there's something called men of Issachar. Some people may be aware of men of Issachar, but there was men that knew the time. There was men that was prepared and ready. I'm gonna ask that you guys kind of come forward. Coach, I'm asking you guys kind of incorporate yourselves, those that ask reposition themselves, right here in the front. Almost like a damage control. James, kind of here in the front. And anyone else that seems fit to feel as though, matter of fact, Mr. Cade as well. I'm sitting. I got you. So just a level of stabilization, and I appreciate it. And that's how we handle each other as men and young men. That's how we address it. Because the idea was that you guys needed teachers in here. The idea was that you guys would come into this auditorium chaotic and disrespectful. I have seen none of it. I need you to know what's being thought of you. That was the thought. Why? Because I sit at tables that you guys are not privy to. So I think it's a success. And they're not being disrespectful, they're just being a little talkative, and that will mellow out because minutes in their presence. And for some of us, and some of our young men, it's not that normal. So we'll wait for Senator to get on stage and then we'll move forward. But I thank the men that reposition themselves. Know that I ask that you reposition yourselves for a reason and purpose. I would definitely ask that, sir. I would definitely ask that we take our hats off and our hoods down. Respectfully. I thank you. I'm going to ask one more reposition. And as a young man, as a little boy, at 30 in Lehigh, I watched this gentleman with multiple businesses. I'm going to ask him to reposition himself, Mr. Dobbins. I'm going to ask you to reposition yourself. I'm going to ask you to place yourself over here, if you will. Mr. Thompson. Right over here in the front. And I asked him for a reason. And I'm going to ask you to reposition yourself right here among these two men, these two young men, right here. Stabilization. I watched him as a young boy, right down the street. First man I seen with Armani pants on, Armani suit, period. You talk about the 80s. So, if we can face the flag, hands across the chest. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may have a seat. So to do the welcome, we're going to move forward. I'd like to present to you Mr. Tajay Ellis. He's a junior here at Dobbins. Give him up with a round of applause for Tajay. Tajay Ellis.
Good morning, staff, guests, and fellow classmates. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 32nd Annual Male Leadership Forum. Thank you for taking the time to come and share your knowledge and life experiences with us. We truly enjoyed the opportunity to express our thoughts and network with men from diverse occupations, backgrounds, and college experiences. Welcome on behalf of Dobbins Future Success Stories, and thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pastor. I really appreciate you. I'd like to bring forth now Mr. Jameer Bonaparte, sophomore at Dobbins, to do a solo. Give it up to Jameer.
Sorry about that.
Good morning, everyone. I was born by the river in a little tent, Lord, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. Side of roads up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to it, and I'm going to town. Somebody can tell me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Should I go to my brother? Brother, help me please. But he just keeps knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there have been times that I couldn't pass the Lord. Now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Change gonna come, yes it will. Change gonna come, yes it will.
Before we move forward, I just want to acknowledge Senator Sharif Street have arrived. Thank you, Senator. And before we move forward with the program, I just wanted to offer Senator Sharif Street an opportunity to say a few short words to you guys. So please, help me welcome Senator Sharif Street.
Good morning. Good morning. How you all doing today? I can't hear you. How you doing today? All right. It's good to see so many young men, mostly young black men, together. I'll let you in on something. The world that you will soon enter is not going to be an easy one for you. In order to succeed, you're going to have to be able to be better and do more than just about everybody else. The reality is that there are a lot of folks. I'm from North Philadelphia. I live about 6 blocks from here. 16 W Lehigh. Grown up here my whole life. What I can tell you is that there are far too many people in bodies that I serve in that want to see you incarcerated. When you rebel against the system and say, I don't care, they ain't gonna control me, I'm gonna do me, screw them, and then you put yourself in a position where you're doing things that give somebody an excuse to arrest you, to lock you up, to take away your basic liberty. You're not rebelling against what parts of the system want. You are doing exactly what parts of the system were intended to have you do. It's designed to make you feel like your manhood is standing up, committing a crime, violating the law, because in doing that, what you're doing is giving somebody an excuse to take away your ability to be the men we need you to be. We need you to be the fathers of our community coming forward. Because I know it sounds like a long way away, but most of y'all, it ain't gonna be that long before you're fathers. Keeping it real. We need you to be the providers in our community. We need you to take care of the next group of young boys who are in kindergarten right now, who in 10 years will be 14 and 15 years old, and will be running around the community acting crazy. And you'll have little kids that you're the parents of, that you want to be able to get to school safely. That only happens if you are prepared to do that. You can be engineers, you can be lawyers, you can be doctors, you can own businesses, you can have all the things that you believe you need to have. But you can only do it if you stay focused. And because I didn't come here to pretend somehow that life is fair. If you were born a black man in North Philadelphia, I will start off by telling you life is probably not fair. It's not fair. But that means that you have to do more to achieve, not less. And rebellion is to be a brother who can sit up in front of here and own a business, who can hire your own, call your own shots. Rebellion is being a black man who can get elected to an office and can sit in the rooms and help write the laws. Rebellion is being Dr. Alice Sanford, who in the midst of a pandemic where people didn't want to give us what we needed to survive, pulled together black doctors, some of whom I went to school with, and decided we were going to do for ourselves to make sure we were safe. And now runs a center just 2 blocks from here. Rebellion is in fact taking command of your own lives, your own community, and being able to be the commander of your own destiny. But that takes discipline. You know, some people would say folks who are successful are lucky, and I would agree to that. My father, former Mayor John Street, used to tell me, Sharif, good luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And what that means is all of us will have opportunities at some point in time to do the things we want to do. But will you be prepared to take advantage of that opportunity? If you are not, you will call yourself unlucky. But the reality is you were unprepared. You're unprepared. So what this is today are some brothers who will give you some information to try and prepare you to be able to lead your family, to be able to be the people that you see, to be able to guide that somebody else looks at on Instagram or Facebook or whatever app they create, the people are looking at and say, I want to be that person. If you want to be the envy of everyone else, if you want to be the man that you expect to be, one, understand life isn't fair, so get over it. Two, what you have to do is be prepared for the opportunities. And three, life is going to throw challenges at you that other people didn't have to face, and that's just the way it is. It's your job to overcome them. But you can, in fact, do it. If we will ever going to move forward, it's going to be because young men like you decide to make a change, decide to take care of first your own life, then your family, and then our community. Thank you very much.
Senator Sharif Street. Give it up to Senator Sharif Street. Always want to come past Dobbins and pour into Dobbins and support Dobbins in any initiative that takes place. Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Truly appreciate you. So moving right along, I want to introduce one of your schoolmates, Mr. Calvin Mack, Jr., to do the introduction to our keynote speaker.
Hello, good morning. I'm going to be giving you the introduction of G. Lamar Stewart. G. Lamar Stewart Sr. is the senior pastor and teacher of the historical Taylor Memorial Baptist Church, a Nicetown tile section of Philadelphia. Serving the Nicetown tile community through monthly random acts of kindness, spiritual strengthening the church group by discipleship and church education in alignment with the vision, the church empowering disciples to make disciples. Rev Stewart is the founder of Tailor-Made Opportunities. He was ordained under the spiritual leadership of Dr. Alan E. Well of Ian Tabernacle Baptist Church in Philadelphia. G. Lamar Stewart Sr. started his education as an animal science major at Saul High School of Agricultural Science. After finishing high school, he enlisted in the United States Army, where he served as a combat arms trooper and human research supervisor. He is a graduate of the United States Army Chaplain Center in South Carolina. During his military tenure, he served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. He's been awarded numerous Army achievements and commendation medals and other ribbons for military excellence. Currently, Rev Stewart serves as the Chief of Community Engagement and City Government Relations at the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. I am honored to present to you Rev G. Stewart. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I want to first thank Charles Reyes for the opportunity to come share. Certainly, I salute the work of Senator Sharif Street with us today, and to all of the honorable men who are here today to support our young men who are students here at Dobbins High School. For the young men, let's give a round of applause to these men who come to support you today. So our theme today is the heart of man. There's a poem by a gentleman that many of you know named Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes has a poem called Dreams. The poem says, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen with snow. Hold fast to dreams. During the introduction, one of the things that was shared is that I'm the founder of a nonprofit organization called Tailor Made Opportunity. And one of our programs under the organization, Tailor Made, is a program called Corners to Connections. Essentially, through this program, we spend nights on street corners engaging with men and women who are a part of the life here in the city of Philadelphia. This month, Black History Month, we're spending 28 nights, every night during this month, on street corners from 9 p.m. to about 11 p.m. at night. About 3 Mondays ago, I had a chance to engage with a young man who will remain nameless at the corner of 17th and Cumberland. When we arrived to this corner of 17th and Cumberland and we had a conversation with this young man, he was standing on the street corner. He had a gun in his waist. He had work in his pockets. And we began to talk to him about making a transition out of the life into something more sustainable. So I asked him the question. I said, what do you want to do with your life? What are your dreams? And why are you here? Why are you out here right now? And he began to tell me, he said, number one, my dad left my family when I was young. Left my siblings and I, my mom. He left us in the house and he went on about his life. I have not seen him since. And then he said, number two, my mom is strung out on drugs. I don't really have a relationship with her. We haven't really been seeing eye to eye over the last several years. Then he said, I have 3 sisters. All of them are sex workers, and I don't have much of a relationship with them. Then he said, 2 of my brothers are serving life sentences right now for murder, and I don't have much of a relationship with them. Then he said, I was molested and sexually assaulted as a child, and I'm still dealing with the trauma connected with that right now in my life. And he said, you know what, Rev, I don't really want to be out here, but nobody ever believed in me. And perhaps there's some of you who are in here right now who either identify with all of what this young man said to us, or even a part of what this young man said to us. And so I echo to you the words of Langston Hughes, who said, hold fast to your dreams. During my conversation with this young man, we examined these 3 areas during that conversation. And I want to just leave 3 things with you today and let you into the conversation I had with this young man. First, I want you to know that as you hold fast to your dreams, or if you're going to hold fast to your dreams, you have to acknowledge that suffering and struggle is real. Life is full of struggle, and some of you all know, and the senator just said it moments ago, some of you have already experienced struggle at 16 years old, at 17 years old, at 18 years old. You know the realities of the impact of gun violence. For some of you, you've been shot yourself, or perhaps you've lost a family member to gun violence in the city, or perhaps you've been impacted by the trauma of gun violence in your own neighborhood. Some of you know the impact of poverty and what it feels like to grow up poor. You know what it feels like to not have two nickels to rub together to make a dime. Some of you understand the impact of abandonment, like this young man who perhaps you had a loved one in your life, a father or somebody you thought was going to be in your corner that abandoned you. Some of you know what it feels like to deal with the impact of abuse in your own childhood. The truth is, if you look to the left right now, and even up on the stage, the OGs and the old heads, the unks that you see in this room, know what it feels like to deal with struggle as well. I'm going to share with you a story. When I was your age, I was about 18 years old. I just went into the military, and an old head schooled me to struggle. When I got down into the military, I didn't have enough money to buy an expensive car, so I bought an old school car. I bought a 1978 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. This is for my old heads. Diamond in back, sunroof top, digging the scene with the gangster lean. And I bought a 78 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. On one particular day, I went on a date with this young lady. Picked her up from her house, and I took her out to eat. And when we were leaving this restaurant and we were about to go to the movies, I opened the door for her to get into the car. I went on the other side, and I went and sat on the driver's seat, and I went to go start the car would not start up. I was embarrassed, and so I went inside, Coach Trey, I went inside the restaurant, and I went to the restroom, and I'm sweating, I'm frustrated, I'm nervous, and I saw an old head in there. And he said to me, what's going on, young fella? I said, well, I'm on a date right now, my car won't start. He said, well, I'm gonna pull my truck up next to your car, I'm gonna give you a jump start. I said, what's that? I was 18 years old. He says, well, I'm gonna pull out my jumper cable. So we went outside and he popped his hood, I popped mine. And he says, I want you to take the negative charge of this cable and put it on the negative side of your battery. And I want you to take the positive charge and put it on the positive side of your battery. And I said, well, that doesn't make sense. If you want to give my battery that is dead a jump start, I would think all you need to use is the positive charge. And he said something to me, gave me some game in that moment that I'll never forget. He says, if you want to get a jump start, you got to realize both the positive and the negative is necessary. I come to tell you today that struggle is real in life, but the struggle you face today will be a part of making you who you are for your future. It will help jumpstart your life. Do I got any old heads in here today that understand that a jumpstart is real? Hold fast to your dreams. Struggle. Here's the second point I want to leave you with, and that's substance. A part of holding fast to your dream is that you have to be a man of substance. And substance is going to have you having to evaluate these areas. You have to evaluate who's in your circle. Because not everybody you see around you right now is going to be with you in 20 years. In fact, there's some people whose names you're going to see in your yearbook at age 18 that you won't remember in 20 years. And you have to start asking yourself the question, who's in your inner circle? And who can you really trust? And who have you given permission to tell you the truth about where you are in life? Yes, you need to keep some peers around you that's going to be honest with you, but you need to have some old heads in your life that also can pour into you. Who's in your circle? Number two, you got to remain centered if you're going to be a man of substance. And that means you got to prioritize your education and your faith. I'm not telling you which faith that you all have, but I am suggesting that to be centered, you got to prioritize education, whatever the form that is. For some of you, you want to take a path towards college. For some of you want to take a path towards some type of vocational training. But I want you to prioritize being centered. And then I want you to think about character and what it means to be a man of integrity. You know, when I was in school some years ago, the math teacher taught us about integers. This word integrity comes from an arithmetic word, integer. An integer is a whole number. It's a number you can count on. And to be a man, if you're going to hold fast to your dreams and be a real man, you got to be somebody that somebody can count on. So number one, I want you to think about struggle. Number two, I want you to think about substance. Lastly, I want you to think about strength. I want to leave you with this, and that is you are stronger than you think. No matter what anybody has said about you, no matter the negative projections that some people in this city make about you because of your ebony hue in your skin, you are stronger than you think. I need you to repeat that with me. Say this: I am stronger than I think. Say it one more time. I'm stronger than I think. Let me give you this quick story, and I'll be out your way. You know, there were two circumstances that I faced in life that helped me as a young person, and then as a man, understand how much strength I really had. Next month, 20 years ago, I deployed to Iraq at 18 years old. I spent 15 months in a hot desert where I woke up at 90 degrees in the morning in Baghdad. And by midday, it was about 120, 130 degrees. I had to survive bullets being shot over my head, friends dying in combat at 18 years old. Some of you all know what that feels like here in the city of Philadelphia. And the fact that I survived it at 18 and still thriving at 38 years old, I'm convinced that I'm stronger than I think. Here's another thing that happened recently. My son is in his second year of college. My oldest son, he's 20 years old. And when he graduated from high school, I said, wherever you want to go in the world, as a gift from your father to you, I'll take you wherever you want to go in the world. Considered, I was surprised, but I thought he was going to say, I want to go to South America, which I would have been happy to take him there. Or he would have said, I want to go to one of the islands like Jamaica, Sean. I would have been happy to take him there. But my son said, I want to go to Miami. I said, Miami? Out of anywhere in the world, you want to go to Miami? So I took my son to Miami. And one of the things he wanted to do while we were in Miami is that he wanted to go jet skiing, he wanted to go parasailing, and then he wanted to go skydiving. And my son and I got on this plane, and we jumped out of a plane together with parachutes on, and we went skydiving together. I was nervous, but because my son wanted to do it, I was willing to do that with him. And since accomplishing that goal, I recognized if I had the strength to jump out of a plane, there's nothing that I can't face in my life. I want to leave you with this. You're stronger than you think. You have strength on the inside of you, and there's some people who paved the way for you. People like Reverend Leon Sullivan, whose shoulders you stand on today. People like Cecil Bassett Moore, whose shoulders you stand on today. People like Dave Richardson, whose shoulders you stand on today. People like Booker T. Washington, whose shoulders you stand on today. I'm closing here, but I know some of you are saying, what happened to that young man at 17th and Cumberland? The next day, I invited him to come to a job, a hiring event that this woman who's an employer named Myra Brown was hosting. She was out there on the streets with us that night. She invited him to come. And because he was willing to hold fast to his dreams and hurt us, the next day when he went to that hiring event, he was hired and was offered a job making $25 an hour with full-time benefits. And last week was his first week completed on his new job because he was willing to hold fast to his dreams. So I repeat to you in the words of Langston Hughes, hold fast to your dreams, for if dreams die, life is like a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to your dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Hold fast to your dreams.
Reverend G. Lamar Stewart. Give it up, clap it up. Show him a Dobbins, thank you for G. Lamar Stewart. Moving right along, we'd like to call up Mr. Tajay Ellis to do a token of appreciation to our keynote speaker of this year, Male Leadership, the Heart of the Man. Tajay?
We, the young men of Royal Dobbins, would like to express our sincere gratitude to you, Dr. Stewart, for sharing us with your time, wisdom, and expertise. In doing so, we present this token of appreciation to you. We truly thank you for your time.
George, do you want to take Apple? Thirty-two years, and then to think this has been going on. And the commitment that exists among men to continue to pour into our young men is amazing. But I want to continue to move on. And I wanted to invite out Mr. Donnie Andrews. It's been a long time commitment to the male leadership forum that exists here at Dobbins, and every year Mr. Andrews come through and he offers a special presentation. So give Mr. Andrews a round of applause. Mr. Donnie Andrews.
Good morning. Why would anyone want to come out of an airplane at the land? Well, I come here this morning. When I come to an event like this, I come to be a blessing. So two of you guys are gonna get blessed. Normally we pick the A student. I said I want to be fair today, so I'm just gonna pick a student. I don't know whether it's an A student or F student, but everybody needs to be recognized. I just want to say one thing to you guys. You guys are smarter than me. What I mean by that is, when it comes to computers, cell phones, and things of that nature, but I know more than you because I've been here longer than you. Now we need each other. I need you to teach me some stuff, and I can save you from some stuff. Don't go down that road, boy. I've been down there. So we need each other, okay? So without further ado, I have two monetary gifts of $100 I'm going to give out. And the way I'm going to do it is, I'm going to go as far back as I can. And whoever's sitting in the front of the seat back there, come up here. Who's sitting in the farthest seat? Which one of you guys? One of you two guys. I don't know which one. Come on up here, man. And then I want to come all the way up to the front, and that's you. Come on up here. In the last class we left, we talked about 80% of success is just showing up. All these guys did was showed up today. Right place, right time, right seat. That's all they did. All you had to do was say, I ain't coming to school today. You would have blew this. Well, I ain't going in the auditorium. You would have blew this. But the fact that you guys are in the right place, right time, right seat. I'm gonna give you $100 monetary gift, and I'm gonna give you one. And I wrote something all the time about what I wrote on yours. When things go wrong, don't you go wrong with me, because things go wrong in life. And what I wrote on yours is a bad attitude is like a fat child. If you don't change, you ain't going nowhere. And in life, I used to miss a good picture, but I've gotten better. I got a friend, Steve. Stand up, Steve. I remember one time Steve broke his arm. And Steve said, Johnny, I broke my arm in 2 places. And I said, Steve, you need to stop working in places. Never mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Give it up for the two gentlemen and for Mr. Donnie Andrews. So let's do the math. 32 years, $200. We gave him. And we thank you. Thank you for your commitment, Mr. Andrews. We thank you for believing in, and if I can use the proper terminology, sowing in to these young men. They don't really know the seed that you planted, the monetary seed. They don't really know the background behind that, perhaps. But I thank you for your ongoing commitment. Every year, Mr. Andrews come through, and he's sowing to our students. So you never know what's going to happen, who's going to be around, and what's going to take place. But what we do know today is that we heard a clear message. We heard a clear message of growing into young adulthood. We heard a clear message of being a man of integrity. We heard a clear message of having the heart of a man. We heard a clear message in our breakout sessions in the classroom. There was a clear message that you move forth, you go forth, you focus, you stay steadfast on your goals. Trust your goals and trust yourself, but above all, trust the process. I want to thank each and every one of you that showed up and showed out. I thank you, Mustangs, for being there and showing up and being respectful in the breakout rooms, engaging the men that came to spend that time. And with that being said, Mr. Perez, is it time, can we dismiss? Prior to that, are we going into traditional photos? Are we going to traditional photos? I don't know if it's raining. Take it down in here or where are we going to? We do the young men. Right. Okay. So this is what we're going to ask. There's always a traditional photo. Young men, listen up. You're being dismissed. However, we're asking that you go to the steps, Mr. George. The back steps right here. Be down this door, right? Right. Oh, the front is, okay. We're asking that we go to the front steps, right here at the front of the building. We take a traditional picture, 32 years of traditional photos, and then you dismiss the class. So please, in a respectful and orderly process, we will meet at the front door. The guests as well. Thank you, thank you. Move forward. This year's Medal Leadership for Heart of a Man.
Yeah, be careful today.